there's reason to want to see the match at WrestleMania, if that is indeed where they go with it. I mean, everyone's saying that, Matt, but then there is, of course, always room to finish up things at the Royal Rumble, and then they both go their separate ways into WrestleMania, isn't there, as well?
Oh yeah, there's that possibility, but it's just so coincidental though that they both enter the Royal Rumble. It just kind of feels so unfinished. Mm-hmm. It's like if Brock enters the Royal Rumble and Goldberg eliminates Brock, then that's over for Brock. And if vice versa, if Brock eliminates Goldberg, is Goldberg supposed to just lie down and take that? It kind of makes you feel like there's going to be something more between them.
Let's hope Roman Reigns isn't involved somewhere there. He's going to give him the rub. Yeah, someone's going to get the rub there. Who knows? Maybe a spear on spear. You can imagine what they're going to come up with next. Okay, last subject really to this is to our adorable NXT. Matt, of course the titles shifted about. We had Samoa Joe winning the title and then Shinsuke winning it back, and now we know there's also going to be another match, don't know if you heard, in Melbourne, Australia as well, before this is all said and done. And what are your views on the entire thing, Matt? And is this time for Joe now for the roster, and possibly let's see Samoa Joe eliminate one of those two guys we just spoke about in the Rumble?
Sure, yeah. I think the Rumble was a perfect place for Joe to sort of make his mark on the main roster of WWE. It would be a good surprise little entrant, and I think he could come in there and have some good effects. I think bringing him up, even if they just start him sort of in the mid card levels, just come out there and eliminate Sami Zayn or something. I'm sure you get a little feud out of that because they could both work well with each other. So something like that would be good for me. I wouldn't mind seeing that. I don't imagine they're going to sort of look at Joe and go, "Yeah, you're the next guy," and say eliminate Brock or something. Even though I'm not saying he's not capable of that. I'm just starting to doubt the way that they actually select their future stars now. It kind of feels like they make you prove your way to the top, rather than just sort of picking you over your raw talent now.
Yeah, Samoa Joe and Brock Lesnar should be penciled in for a future match. Like, I'm not talking 3 months, 6 months. I'm talking about like a whole year's build. You get Samoa Joe so ready. That's the kind of match I'd rather see when you see this unstoppable force, immovable object type of thing. Like, Samoa Joe is so agile for a guy his size. The way he wrestles is almost like a strong style in a sense. It's kind of the real match I would have liked to have between the Samoan and the Brock Lesnar. I mean, it's like instead of Roman Reigns, it's Samoa Joe, who I just think could really give a big physical presence with Brock, and I think Brock would love that. I think he'd feed right off that. But they'd have to do a very, very good job at protecting Joe. Because I would have said the same thing. About someone like Kevin Owens, but they just haven't done a decent enough job of protecting him, and he's the freaking champion. So, they have to do such a decent job with it. Because even Rusev at one time was probably ready for that, but now look what's happened to him. So, I think there's definitely room there. Matt, just NXT in general, Bobby Roode, everybody's singing his praises at the moment, doing very well, and talking of singing, of course, glorious. Can't go without saying that, but that music is certainly everywhere. Lots of people saying that he is going to be the next sort of big step up. He's going to be, a lot of people are even, putting him ahead of Joe and Shinsuke in terms of his way to the top and his relationship with Triple H and all the rest of it. Is the sky the limit with someone like Bobby Roode and the persona he's got and the way he carries himself? Is he kind of... he seems very WWE product in a sense. Like, he seems to fit the mould more than some others that I've seen.
Well, to sort of... steal a Lex Luger kind of phrase. You could call him the total package, I guess. He's good on the mic, he's got the physique. He's definitely got like the gimmick, and the theme music, everything that he has is just like superstar level.
Mm-hmm.
And and like I say, he's a total professional. And someone like Shinsuke, they always, Shinsuke is great. We know he's incredible in that ring, but they always have difficulty marketing people from the East like Nakamura. They always have their doubts for them. They always think that the audience might not connect with them or know them. The American audience might not follow them as much.
Mm-hmm.
I know Shinsuke will be a huge success when he does get there, but it does feel like it's taken him a long time to get to that point already. Because like AJ, he should have been straight onto the main roster, really. So it's a little bit silly that he actually had to go through the NXT system. I can understand Bobby Roode having to go through that because he's been around on the independents a long time in TNA, of course. Yeah. So, but yeah, coming in there, I don't expect him to just jump. He's never really been like a top 3 in the world. Someone like AJ has.
Mm-hmm.
But yeah, Bobby Roode, no doubt about it. He's one of my favourite he was always my favourite in TNA, so I'm glad that he's now made it this far and just a little bit further, and then you can be right at the top. And he just reminds me so much of Triple H in his in-ring ability, and that. So I would have no problems thinking that them two get on really well and coordinate stuff backstage and make good matches happen.
Yeah. With regards to Shinsuke Nakamura, I'm with you on that one. The thing is with him, I hope they don't, by the time he gets there, that boat hasn't sailed away. Because honestly, and I truly believe this, I said it as well last year, that Shinsuke Nakamura should have been probably even on that WrestleMania card. Like, he would have been a big enough name at a time where WWE had so many injuries. You could have signed Shinsuke Nakamura. He doesn't even turn up on TV. You just have him doing these videos, and you have him. It doesn't matter who he faces, even if it was someone like a Sami Zayn in a WWE roster level. But you would have had him on at WrestleMania. It would have got so much of a big buzz. You got the biggest star in Japan on your biggest show, and I just feel that is his level. And I do feel like him in NXT is slightly, it's odd to say the least, when we are seeing, like Matt said about AJ Styles, perfecting his craft in the main event level, like really not changing too much of what he's doing. And I just hope it's not going to be too much longer, Matt, and they hold him back more, because I think people are ready to want to love this guy almost. Like, they want to embrace him, but they can't keep having him in NXT because it's going to wear out its effect before it's even got to the roster. That's what worries me with a lot of the guys that go to NXT. In fact, like I even was worried about Joe to a certain extent. Like, you think how long he's been down there for, and do they lose their effect when? It's not the same with Bobby Roode, because he's changed his image so much that he's doing something completely new. But with Shinsuke Nakamura and Samoa Joe, they're kind of doing what they've always been doing, the characters and all the rest of it. So I do feel like they have to be careful, because we've seen them for so long and we've seen them work up through all the indies. So, if you're the biggest star in Japan, Matt, I don't know what more you have to do. to be sort of the guy to get in on just the roster, but hopefully he gets the sort of push that Finn Balor got when he first came up, and there is that sort of stepping stone that can be done, because he's certainly as big a star as those guys that we've seen. Just as a side note, mate, about Finn Balor, do we expect to see him back? And if he is going to be, everyone's saying about WrestleMania, is he going to get like that road to WrestleMania treatment, that sort of returning journey kind of feel?
Yeah, we spoke about it a little earlier on. If they can hold off Roman Reigns, if they don't let him get his hands on that belt, then I would be more than happy to see Balor come back and step into that spot, because he was kind of like thrown from it like all too quickly, and I think fans were really taken to it. Even though he got some rapid ascent to the top, I don't think anyone had a bit of feeling about it.
No, not at all. I think everybody kind of wanted to embrace it. Just so much bad luck there on his part. Well, we are at the end of our podcast, Matt. It's been a journey. Certainly has. We've had Daniel Puder on earlier, talking UFC 207, and of course gone through the entire backlog of the past fortnight, which just seems like there's been a ton of stuff happening. But you know, the world of professional wrestling never stops, I guess. So always around the clock. Want to thank everybody that sent in some nice emails about our King of the Ring retrospective that we put out last week. Got loads of good feedback on that, by the way, Matt. People actually saying that is by far their favourite King of the Ring, I've heard, by a few of the main listeners that always email me in about King of the Rings. They're saying that this one is in their top 3, a lot of them.
I was impressed by this one as well.
Yes.
Yeah.
So definitely made a huge mark, and of course we've got 2 more to go, not that far now, and we'll be finishing up our King of the Ring retrospective series. Also gives me a chance to tell you there's going to be some more wrestling arts episodes coming up as well, especially over the holiday periods. I would expect that they will go out. And starting next year afresh, people have been asking what's going on with the 20 back. Are we still going to do it and all the rest of it? Well, we are going to be doing it, but we're going to be doing it on the top 4 main shows of the year, which of course Royal Rumble, WrestleMania, SummerSlam and Survivor Series. We will be going back 20 years every time, and basically the weekend of the event, it will kind of go in as a nice little preview to it, where you guys can listen to over the weekend to sort of get you right in the mood for that big event. So yeah, we'll be doing the 20 back for sure. Matt, thank you as always for coming on. As always, we have lots to talk about.
No, great to get back stuck into it.
Yep, and as Matt said, we'll be back. We'll be back. Of course, we're coming out Saturday, but depending on when you're listening to us, we will be back the following Monday, and we'll be talking about then, of course, all things Roadblock. In fact, so we're going to be doing a summary of that, I believe, just to sort of make sure it's all even on either pay-per-view. I don't want to be seen as a Raw fan over SmackDown. Right? We do the reviews there, so yeah, we'll be doing that. And then of course we get really to the holiday period, so not long until that and all the rest of it. So until then, folks, have a great week.